Now we're going to talk to Coach Mallory about the defense. Coach, looking at the team in the scrimmage, looked like a much more physical unit than what we might remember.
Again, I don't know what it's been like here in the past, but we feel like we've gotten a little more physical here as the spring has gone on. I know we're hitting. I think we're doing a lot of good on good, a lot of one-on-one, two-on-two, and emphasis is on playing physical and being an aggressive football team. So we've seen signs of improvement. It's good to see the kids get out there and perform on Saturday.
Talk about how the kids have really bought into what you guys are trying to accomplish.
Again, they've had a great attitude from day one. I think the thing we're fortunate is we came into a situation we've got a lot of good character kids in the program, and I think they've bought into our system. They've done everything we've asked at this point. They've had a positive attitude, and they've come out and they've worked hard every day. So I think as long as you've got a good attitude, you got something to build on, and again, we've been encouraged from that standpoint.
Talk about the defensive staff that you guys have been able to put together with you and Coach Eckler and all the position coaches.
Again, great staff. It really is. I've got an awful lot of respect for Mike Eckler. Mike and I worked together for 3 years at LSU, and he's one of the best coaches I've ever been around. It's where we're fortunate is Mike and I, again, come from the same background, so does Brett Dearson. Brett's been in Nebraska for the last 3 years, and between the three of us, we've got a guy on the D-line, a guy at the linebacker position, myself in the secondary that are familiar with the system and the scheme and all the terminology. And then Mark Hagan's done a tremendous job. Mark's an IU guy, and been here in the Big Ten for the last 11 years, so it's great to get him back here. And then Brandon Shelby working with the corners. Again, he's also familiar with the system. We haven't been there at Oklahoma, and haven't been there with Coach Eck there about 6-7 years back. So again, we all come from similar backgrounds, but it's really been a smoother transition with the three of us, with Coach Eckler and Brett Dearson and myself, just understand terminology and the system. So a little bit smoother.
You mentioned terminology, the scheme, the system. Obviously, the effort has been there for these kids who have been adapting to your new style of coaching. Talk about how they're grasping those concepts.
Well, the first thing you talk about effort, the first point we made to the defense when we met at the beginning of the spring is that we're going to play harder than anyone in college football. And that's something we pride ourselves on. And that's why the kids were out here running after practice. If we grade them in everything they do when they step out here on the field. If we feel they give us a lack of effort or what we refer to as a loaf, then they're going to owe it to us after the next practice. So those are what we're running off here today. Again, they've done a great job, taking what we've taught in the meeting room. They've done a good job transferring it out here on the field. So that part's been encouraging. What's a little bit more difficult is when you try to, again, go with the tempo and stay up with the tempo of our offense. The kids have got to be able to recognize, they've got to be able to diagnose, and they've got to be able to process it a lot quicker. It's a little bit easier if an offense huddles and goes at a slow pace, then you can get lined up, kind of go through your thought progression. Don't have a whole lot of time to do that right now. So kids are, we're force feeding it, but they've done a good job grasping what we're teaching.